Okay, I just purchased this 4-piece repair kit, link and gears for the Kodak Carousel projector. Mine is a model 760H. It's my old father-in-law's projector, and we've got thousands of photographs, and this is the only way we can look at them. So let me just show you. This is the normal operation, forward and reverse. The select button just simply disengages it so you can spin the carousel. That's the normal operation. Of course, it stops working because these gears that I'm about to show you, hope you can see those, they disintegrate after time. And there's absolutely nothing on the internet that will show you exactly how to install this little repair kit. There is a service manual and a parts manual, but you can throw them away because they're useless. None of them ever go into the details of how to actually replace those parts. I'm going to show you. I'm not going to tear this whole thing apart again, but I'll show you everything you need to know to make that repair. This right here is the worst one of the 4 screws. The long one. The other 4 are pretty short. And come out very quickly. Take this little rubber thing off. Keep your screws sorted out real well. It's a little tricky to get this off, but it will come off somehow. You have to lower that thing all the way. That's right. Okay, get that out of the way. Alright, here's the trick. You can see this. You can see this. Here's the procedure. You're going to need a number 2 Phillips, number 2 flat, 1/4 inch nut driver. You're going to need a nice pair of channel locks. You're also going to need a little small screwdriver and some needle nose. And it's handy to have a pair of hemostats. This is going to be very, very handy. Anyway, with your 1/4 inch nut driver, from this point forward everything is 1/4 inch. You have to remove this blower housing. It's this screw, this screw, this screw, this screw, and this screw. It's very cantankerous to get all that out, but you can get it out. You be careful taking this thing off. This is a little insulator protector or something. To take the lamp housing out, take this lens thing out, take the lenses out. You're going to need to remove this screw. There's a screw down in here you can barely see. There's a screw here, a screw here, a screw here, a screw here. There's also one underneath here you can't see because of these wires. Take this one screw out here. I'll take it out just so you can see it. It's different than all the rest. It's just a little sheet metal screw. And take that screw there out. Now the very first thing after you take this blower housing out is to remove the motor. There's 3/4 inch screws that remove the motor. Just be careful. You don't have to disconnect any wires. Anyway, you take that motor out, and believe it or not, the motor and the belt that drives the fan and the mechanism are actually pretty simple and easy to maintain. You can figure it out yourself. It's not a lot to it. Put this thing back. Here's what actually happens. This autofocus motor right here and this gear here disintegrate, as you can see. There's mine, what's left of them. And these are all press fitted on here. So that's what this channel lock is for. At some point you're going to have to take you'll need a 3/8 nut. You put it on the end of this shaft here, and with your channel locks you can press fit that on. Channel locks again will press fit this gear onto the motor. Now here's the real culprit in terms of the mechanism not advancing forward or reverse any longer. This little guy right here, this is the, I hope you can see it, it's a little removable trap door to allow you to get to a solenoid. The solenoid actually goes one way or in the other depending on how you polarize it, and it'll push and pull, and that's what these things right here do. By the way, you'll need to tape this little these two little buttons. Tape those things because they'll fall. This thing will fall in to the case whenever you remove the mechanism, and it's, you know, with only two hands it's going to be impossible to manage that. So you need to tape that. Pull of course, if you don't know this already, you pull the focus knob out of the way and the lens will come straight on out. So anyway, here's what's left of what's called the link. That thing, this part right here. These two little pieces right here on the ends break off, and then therefore it no longer works. The real trick is going to be to get this mechanism out. It's going to be pretty scary, but you can actually, the thing will go back together pretty good if you just use a lot of common sense and patience. And but when you get to this little trap door here, you actually have to remove all three screws. You have to remove the trap door screw and the two screws that hold the solenoid, and you can get the little trap door out of the way. That's the only way you can get it out of the way. And then the solenoid will come out fairly easily because the actuators broke off and it's no longer connected to really anything. So it'll come out pretty easy. You have to take the actuator to your workshop and use a drill press. No, you don't need a drill press. You can just break the old link because it's so brittle, it'll just crumble. You get that out of there and you have to remove the little pop rivet that's in place, and it's pretty easy to come out. You can cut it out with a pair of dikes. And then you put the new actuator in there and press fit that little pop rivet in there, and you have to mash it with a little some sort of little tool. I have a real nice punch that flattened it real good. And then comes the reassemble. That's what's going to give you a headache. The reassembly process is quite frustrating, but it can be done. You have to work that little actuator into that hole, and that's a challenge. That plastic is somewhat flexible, but it's also very firm, and it will punch through there somehow. I'm not sure how I actually did it, but I messed with it long enough until it went in, and then you have to try to get that solenoid and you have to get the actuator stuck up inside the solenoid and get it all back into the mechanism. That's a real challenge. The way I did it was I turned it a 1/4 turn counterclockwise, and I was able to get the solenoid in there, and then I flipped it around. It went in. Once I got it in, I got the trap door back on there and got all the screws back in, and I was just praying that it would work. And you have to be careful because this mechanism right here, this component right here, it's actually not screwed into anything. There's nothing really holding it in except a couple of little spring wires, and you have to be careful that you don't get that thing cockeyed or get it binding. It will bind in a bad way. You might have to disassemble it one more time and reassemble it. So just be careful with that part. Putting it back together is just in reverse order. Just keep basically every one of these screws is identical except for the motor screws and that one little sheet metal screw I showed you. All the rest of these screws happen to be self-tapping, 1/4 inch by about 3/8 inch long, something like that, maybe a 1/2 inch long. They're all the same, so you can't mix them up. It's not complicated. This is a very cantankerous contraption, I'll be honest with you. It's almost more than you can handle, but you can handle it with patience. It's a little frustrating, but it can be done. But I showed you the right screws in the right order of disassembly. This first, the motor second, and the mechanism third. That'd be your disassembly process. So, good luck. I hope everything works good for you.